facility feasibility study. For the public that's out there, the board has set a meeting next Tuesday where I will attempt to answer questions from the public relative to the pros and cons in terms of the extracurricular feasibility study out there. For the board members, in terms of, I do have the overheads that we went over at the previous meeting. If I need to put any of them up, I can in referencing your questions. And before I get to the easel piece and looking at some of the possibilities in more detail out there, a couple of questions were asked that I'll try and answer. We have been working with with one of the possible companies out there in terms of the applicant, or one, I believe it was you that asked the question in terms of warranty issues. In terms of the warranty, and I haven't had lots of time to deal with them, but warranties come in different shapes and forms out there. In terms of, with at least one of the vendors that we've received and distributed information on, and of course this would have to be bid if it ever comes to fruition, but with one of the vendors, what they have is what's called an insured warranty. In other words, they don't specifically warranty themselves, but they actually work with an insurance company. So if there's a problem out there, it's the insurance company's response. It's a form of a bond, in other words, in terms of if that makes sense. In terms of the second part of the question dealt with was in terms of utilization impacting the warranty. In terms of basically what I've been told is these types of facilities are not designed for tractor pulls. But if you don't abuse them out there in terms of having two junior colleges, for example, meet here and play an event in the middle, let's say Morris and Brainerd or something like that, is still within the warranty. Okay, and I think that was part of the question, if I remember right. Again, I don't have some of this in writing prepared for the board yet, but I will provide that out there. Secondly, in terms of, there were some questions relative to costs in terms of maintenance and some of those pieces. As we've been doing some of this study, Alexandria is also doing a study relative to their new school in the field out there. As I'd asked Mr. Messer to prepare some of our cost information out there, please note that I believe it is very conservative. It was done intentionally to be conservative so that it couldn't be faulted in terms of the cost pieces out there. Based upon the work they've done to date, it's my understanding in talking with some of the folks in Alexandria that they believe that it is cost neutral over the course of 20 years in terms of grass versus artificial out there. But again, Ellen Ziethammer is one of the board members in Alexandria, and I trust Ellen from the standpoint of his business is irrigation. So he works with landscape architects, he works with irrigation, those kinds of pieces out there. Along the lines of the cost piece in that, we've also been told in a number of the contacts we've made with some of the school districts that are using some of these is that, yes, indeed, there is still some maintenance if you have artificial surface out there. What we've been told to use is about 10% of whatever you would normally, because you know, after 10 years, you have to do some fluffing of the rubber materials and those kinds of pieces of that. And so, not entirely maintenance free, but again, out there in terms of significant savings. Finally,
use 10% of which figure?
10% of whatever the cost would be of
regular maintenance.
Regular maintenance.
Okay.
Yeah. And that, if you're a larger entity out there, a university, and you're spending $55,000 on natural turf mowing, it'd be about $5,500 are the costs in it. Go ahead.
Back to the warranty. So when you talk about that warranty, I realize does it cost additional?
No.
So the warranty is included in the price.
In terms of, at one point in time out there, the warranties for artificial surfaces were not dissimilar to the roofs from what I'm told, where you can buy extensions on the extensions in that line and that. But as it stands now, you get the full warranty based through an insurance, okay? And again, I will provide the board with some written materials on that. I've requested them. Okay.
Is the upgraded facilities going to have any grounds on our insurance that we would be carrying?
In terms of, yes. You know, anytime you improve a facility out there, there would be some additional in terms of that, yeah. You know, on the other hand, I had a discussion with an insurance agent today in terms of theoretically there could be some offset in terms of the point Sarah made last week in terms of the injury factors and some of those kinds of pieces, and or you know, they're hesitant to quote until they actually see plans or some of those kinds of things, and it depends upon the security as well in terms of added security. The athletic fields will get you sometimes a decreased rate as well. Okay? And then, go ahead.
I think there was another question last time about, can you install the turf after, let's just say you went with this plan, but at the time you don't have money and you, or you decide to cut back or scale back, can you install the turf after?
The answer I've had on that is feasibly no. In terms of if we were to choose to do this enhancement out here, and Deb, maybe I'll get to that. If you want to hold that question for a minute when we get to that design, I'll come back to that one. One more that before we do get to the design out there, that there was a question about cost of irrigation in terms of if we didn't do turf, but we did the project with natural gas. $25,000 to $30,000, depending upon what you irrigate, is the figure that John obtained from a vendor that we have worked with.
25 to 35,000.
25 to 30.
A year?
No,
For the
install.
cost to install new irrigation.
Right now in our facility, we do not have installed irrigation on the softball fields, the baseball fields, the football fields. We basically use piping with manual labor and or the gun piece out there.
And this is just for the football field.
Yes.